Boys, it's Dan. Welcome to game week number 11 and the last one before the international break. Yes, we have got game week number 11 this week. And this week's we have a guest. His name is Dave. But first of all, Mr. Norm, who was last week's guest, got himself, 7 points, which is very, very, very good. Can Dave beat it? Find that out and a lot more now. Boys, if you want a discount on your energy, go and get my discount in the description. New Dan 10 at checkout. Peace. Starting off, no lunchtime game on the Saturday. Starting off at 3 o'clock with Brentford versus AFC Bournemouth. Now, Brentford played against Fulham and lost it in the 90th minutes, let's say. I think it was 90 plus second and 90 plus 5th minutes. 2 goals from Harry Wilson. But Bournemouth, however, everyone hold your horses. Bournemouth beat Man City. Yes, you are hearing that correctly. Bournemouth beating Man City. You're thinking, Dan, is that actually true? Yes, it is true. 2-1 they won it. Can they repeat the same thing, what they did against Bournemouth, against Man City, to Brentford? But as we know, Brentford always score early. They haven't been recently, but I do think that Bournemouth can win it by 2-1. And Dave, what are you saying in this game?
Having me back on, really appreciate it. These are my predictions for the last game week before the international break again, which always just seems to come and ruin things. The whole Nations League thing is getting a bit annoying, I can't lie. Like, there are too many international breaks and it really ruins the flow. But I know, obviously, these are my predictions. Obviously, there's no early kickoff today. On Saturday, 6 fixtures, 4 of which are at 3 o'clock, and the first of which is Brentford Bournemouth. Bournemouth obviously had a really good result this weekend, and they've got some really good players. Obviously, Semenya's been looking really solid recently. Obviously, Brentford have been a little bit unsure of themselves. Obviously, they lost Tony. Obviously, the likes of Mbeumo and Wiss have had to sort of step up, and they've been okay. They're currently playing, as I'm recording this, they're actually playing Fulham. In my head, I'm thinking a draw. But at the same time, I think because Brentford are at home, I think they might just nick it. So I've gone 2-1. I've gone 2-1 Brentford. Just.
Now we move to Crystal Palace versus the late showers Fulham. Now, as we know, Fulham call the late shows because obviously, like I said, 90 plus second and 90 plus 5th minute winner for Harry Wilson against Brentford on Monday night at Paris. Played against Wolves and got a 2-2 draw there, which was very surprising, which nobody expected that to happen, a draw between those two sides. But I think Fulham will be on a high. Fulham 2, Crystal Palace 0. And Dave, what are you saying in this game?
The game is Crystal Palace Fulham. Obviously, Fulham are also playing right now, and they've looked really good. I think they've looked really good. Obviously, they've got a couple of Arsenal rejects is the wrong terminology for them, but ex-Arsenal players, and they've really good. Compared to especially, he's looked fantastic since he come in. And Palace really haven't. I was kind of expecting them to sort of push on a little bit, but obviously, the likes of Eze and stuff really haven't performed that well. I had Eze in my FPL team at the start of the season, and he really frustrated me. Actually, got a little bit unlucky with one of the goals that he could have scored, but overall, I was kind of expecting him and Gakey to really push on, and they just haven't, unfortunately. I've actually gone for a Fulham win here. I've gone Fulham 2-1.
Now we move to struggling West Ham versus finding their form Everton. And now Everton, as we know, are beginning to find their form now, finally. After losing to Southampton. No, I don't know. I think winning? I'm not sure what it did. Well, they played against Southampton in the last game. And West Ham losing to Forest, which nobody... Well, obviously Forest are flying high right now. We'll get on to Forest and they're upturning form in a minute. But on the other hand, West Ham need this for Lukategi and they're home. But I think it'll be scrappy. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw between West Ham and Everton. And Dave, what are you saying in this game?
West Ham, Everton. Two teams really not looking great at the moment. West Ham are just very inconsistent. You don't really know what West Ham are going to turn up. Obviously, couple of red cards in recent games haven't helped things. But then obviously Everton themselves haven't been great, but they have looked a bit better recently. Obviously before the last game, they had a bit of an unbeaten run, which was not too bad. But they're still in a lot of trouble right now. I think I want to just give it to West Ham, but I'm actually going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think Everton have been a bit better in recent games, and they might just nick an equaliser.
Now we move to Wolves versus Southampton, a game where it is 19th v 20th in the league, where let's just say this is possibly, at this stage of the season, a relegation 6-pointer. Southampton played Everton in another relegation 6-pointer, and Wolves played against Palace in another relegation 6-pointer, basically. And I'm going to say it will be a 0-0 draw between Wolves and Southampton. And Dave, what are you saying in this game?
Southampton, that's the next game. Southampton away to Wolves. Obviously, Southampton got a really big result. They needed that. They massively needed that because they were being awful all season. I don't think getting enough for them. I think they're going to still go down. But then again, Wolves are bottom, and they really have struggled. I also think they have been a little bit unlucky with some of the decisions going against them. I think if any team's going to win it, it'll be Wolves. But I think this could be quite a boring game. I'm going to go 0-0. I think it could be the stinker of the weekend. No team really had any particularly big quality. I'm not sure on that one.
And we move to Brighton and Hove Albion versus Manchester City. Now, as we know, Brighton and Hove Albion did lose to Liverpool in the last week, but Man City have lost 3 games in a row. Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, Bournemouth in the league, and then they lost to Ruben Amorim's Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League by 4-1. And Erling Haaland missed a penalty. Yes, you are hearing that correctly. Man City have lost 3 games in a row. What against a Brighton team who are playing against 2 of the top 6 in 2 successive game weeks? You didn't have Southampton form. Do I go for a shock, or do I go for? I'm gonna go with a 3-2 win to Man City, but that game could go either way. And Dave, what are you saying in this game?
Then we get to the two big games toward the end of the day. Brighton, Man City. I mean, Man City, poor result against Bournemouth. They've not looked great without Rodri. Haaland really hasn't done much. Obviously, a couple of blanks, a number of blanks in the recent games. I should know. I have him FPL, and he's frustrated me. I've kept him, but I've been really unconvinced by him. Triple captain against Southampton. That was a mistake. But then in Brighton, they've looked okay. Obviously, Liverpool played them twice in a row. They caused us the issue, but ultimately Liverpool got through. I think they could cause Man City problems again, but I think similar to Liverpool, I think Man City will just have enough quality to get them over the line. So I'm going to go 2-1 Man City.
Talking about two more top 6 teams in Liverpool versus Aston Villa for the late one on 8 p.m. on Saturday. 8 p.m. for a kickoff. Are you okay, game? Yes, 8 p.m. for Chelsea, for Liverpool Villa. As we know, Aston Villa have lost in the Champions League to Club Brugge. By no means a penalty was given. Liverpool, as we know, are flying high in the league. I'm going to go Liverpool. I'm going to go a 3-3 draw between Liverpool and Aston Villa.
And obviously that game of Saturday, Liverpool, Aston Villa. Aston Villa were really good. Obviously, I was worried how they were going to perform during when they had Champions League, but they've been really good. Obviously, you got the top 3 at the moment in the Champions League table of Aston Villa, Liverpool, Man City. They've looked really good. I've been really impressed with them. But also, I do think Liverpool will have enough forward to beat them. I mean, just to see who played at the back. Obviously, Knight's been off injured, but then Gomez came back on and looked really good. And obviously, him and Virgil had a really good partnership a couple of years back, so that could be an interesting battle. But ultimately, I think Liverpool will have enough. I've gone 2-0. But I do think it'll be a little bit more. I think it'll be quite a slow first half, and then hopefully we can just sort of pick up the gears a little bit second half and get the win.
Now moving to Sunday's game, and to Ruud van Nistelrooy's last game in temporary charge is Manchester United versus Leicester City. Now, this was his first game in charge in the Carabao Cup, and it's his last game in charge of the league in the league. But Leicester have a good, and also we're beginning to find our form under this manager. But when Ruben Amorim comes in after the day after this game, what impact after into break? I'm going to go Man United 4, Leicester City 0. And Dave, what are you saying in this game?
As we head on into Sunday, we got Man United Leicester, which I believe is going to be Ruud van Nistelrooy's last game, because I believe Amorim is meant to come in during the international break. This should be a fairly comfortable victory for United. They're at home. They're a good side. Maybe not performed where they should be, but I think they'll probably have enough quality. But at the same time, Leicester, of the newly promoted team, they've been okay. And obviously, Vardy could always cause issues, but I do think overall Man United will have enough. I've gone for a 3-1. I think Vardy might get a goal, but I don't think it'll be enough. And then
now we move to inform Forest versus Newcastle. As time of filming this, which is Thursday, Nottingham Forest are third. Yes, you're here. Nottingham Forest sits third in the Premier League. They're up there with Liverpool City, Arsenal. They're above Arsenal in the Premier League on goal difference. What is this? What is this team? What is this team? After beating West Ham, Newcastle playing against Arsenal and beating them as well. This could be going in your this game here. I'm going to go Forest 2, Newcastle 1. Can Forest continue their magic form? And Dave, what are you saying in this game?
The surprise package: Nottingham Forest, Newcastle. I've been really impressed by Nottingham Forest. Chris Wood have been really good. The whole team's been fantastic. Whereas Newcastle have been a bit inconsistent. They got a win last weekend, but other than that, they were before then they were in real trouble. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know where Newcastle are right now. And I actually think Forest will win this. I think Forest will continue that trend. At the moment, they're in third, which is unbelievable. Obviously, thought we sort of brought out that whole fun side of things where people are looking at the Premier Leagues and obviously then throwing Arsenal in there because they're there. But obviously, of that group that is now leading the way, they're the only one without Champions League. Obviously, Forest are up there, Villa are up there, Chelsea are up there, and it's quite funny, really. But yeah, they've been fantastic. Obviously, they're the only side to beat Liverpool this season, and they've been really strong, really strong. So I think they win that. I think Newcastle will get at some point. So I've gone 2-1. I've gone 2-1 Nottingham Forest.
Now we move to Tottenham Hotspur. This is Ipswich. Now, as we know, Ipswich Town are struggling in the league. They should have beaten Leicester, but they conceded a 90-plus 5th-minute equalising goal. Again, they come so close, but they just cannot get that final product. However, Tottenham, as we know, are very good after beating Villa 4-1. What can they do against Tottenham Hotspur, against Ipswich? You know what I'm going to go 4-0 again. I'm going to go 4-0 Tottenham Hotspur. And Dave, what are you going in this game?
And then, what is probably the easiest game of the weekend, Tottenham-Leicester. Then again, it is Tottenham, and they can, they can have the moment, that's for sure. They can definitely have their moments. But I just don't think they're going to have enough. Ipswich, I like the fact that they're trying to play their way. They're trying to play their football, but ultimately, I just don't think they brought in the quality they needed. It doesn't help that some of the players that should have been Premier League quality just haven't worked. But they have also done quite a smart. They have been quite smart as well. Because realistically, I think most people at Ipswich know they're probably going down. But by bringing in a lot of the Championship quality players, the hope would be that if they go down next season, they come back up again. Because they brought in some really strong players that are far better than are top end Championship quality. Also, like Sammy Smodix, been really good in the Championship. So I think that's kind of where they're going to be. They might become a bit of a yo-yo team, which isn't a bad thing. If they can get that money in, they can be a bit more consistent with that. So, but I think overall Tottenham will win this game quite comfortably. I've gone 3-0 Tottenham.
Now we move to arguably one of the biggest games of the game week, which is Chelsea versus the Arsenal. Now, Arsenal need a result after losing to Newcastle 1-0. However, Chelsea drew near 1-1 with Manchester United on the weekend thanks to a Moses Caicedo goal. I watched the highlights of that game. Chelsea weren't very attacking, let's just say that. Chelsea weren't their fluent best anyway. But it's Chelsea Arsenal. You got to expect goals in this. You got to expect some goals here. And I'm going to say that it will be a 2-2 draw between Chelsea and Arsenal. And Dave, what are you saying for the last time? And
then the last game of the weekend, 4:30 at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea Arsenal. And before the season, I would have gone, well, this is an easy Arsenal win. Arsenal have been really good. Chelsea have been a bit indifferent. Chelsea have so many different players. It's like, who are we actually going to play? Like, they've got an Endo Fernandez, £100 million player who's useless. But this season, they've looked pretty good. That midfield partnership of Lavia and Caicedo, who almost became Liverpool players, they've been really good. That's a really strong midfield. Obviously, Reece James back, currently fit. How long that will be for, I don't know, because he's made of glass. But they've looked alright. They've looked good. And obviously, Arsenal are in an injury crisis, which I'm not really sure is that, because I mean, everybody had injuries. I'm pretty sure I feel like Man City probably have bigger injuries than they do, but they just have much more squad depth. I think it's sort of showing Arsenal the issues in there, and also their injury crisis really isn't that bad because they're injured and then suddenly they're playing the next day. But you know, that's the way they're going with that. But I think overall, it's probably going to be a draw. I think it could be quite. I think it could be quite an interesting draw. Going 2-2, I think it could be quite an open game. But I think Chelsea have looked good. Arsenal haven't looked great. I think that have sort of pulled them together a lot closer than they would have been in previous seasons. It could be a really, really tasty game. So they're my predictions for this game week. I appreciate Dan for bringing me back on. It's been a while since I've done it. That's more my fault than anything. I'm pretty bad at responding. But I appreciate that, and I'll see you guys on another one, hopefully.
And I'll bring game week 11 to an end. Who will go into the Premier League? Who will go into the international break leading the way? What will the bottom half look like? And I'll see you lot after the international break. Yes, it will be a fun one. In Lee Carty's last two England games as 10 pickets before Thomas Tuchel arrives. Well, takes over the job as you saw. But what can we expect from the Premier League, and what can we expect from Ruben Amorim when he takes charge for the first game back after the interbreak? Find all that out and a lot more in about a week and a half. See you all for game week 12 after international break. Peace!